it got shot up. Like I guess they was posting like everybody to pull up to the shoot, and like I guess the ops pulled up and started
because the key. You don't have the key to the city.
You don't have the key to the city.
You ever heard people say that? They're like, you got to check in with me.
Remember when the baby first started making music, and that like he pretty much went viral off of that video of them checking him in his damn, and it was like, you ain't check in. He was like, I don't check in nowhere. What you talking about?
He said that, Lil Baby?
Was it
Duh, baby.
I'm pretty sure you just said. See, that's what happened last podcast.
You said the baby.
He said the baby.
He said the baby.
It was in the intro. It was in the intro, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Like he was on the porch or something. Yep. He was in the street.
Yeah, he was like, "Nah, I don't check in nowhere. Y'all good." I guess they ain't fuck with him.
Shit.
They ain't fuck with him.
I fuck with that.
Do you check in?
No.
Check in where?
With who?
You gotta pay. You gotta pay when you like say you was going to Chicago to rap. You gotta pay like
a certain amount of money to come in the city. Yeah.
See, I don't give a fuck. Why can't you just pop up in?
You just a camera dude though, for real.
You could, but like
they not studying you. And I watched the vlogs, and it was talking about how because of Lil Durk and like how people were saying you got to check in if you're doing this and that in the city. Realistically, you got to check in if you come to the city worrying about like having to check in for some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to these places, like they say like what's going on and what they demonstrate Chicago to be, a lot of people don't want to tour and go to Chicago. But realistically, if you going as a tourist or if you going to Chicago to just visit Chicago, what makes you a part of that lifestyle? You know what I'm saying?
You talking about on some gangbanging shit.
Yeah, like having to check in or like being in the position to be confronted about from these people that everybody's so
like
scared of.
you're in a gang hierarchy or some shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like if you're not a part of that situation, don't put yourself in that situation.
Like, bro, I'm just here to check out the art museum.
Exactly. Exactly. What the fuck do I got to worry about checking in?
Robbed,
I mean, yeah, that's a
lot
risk.
Of out-of-towners do get
so,
robbed.
like, if I'm going in to check out the damn art museums, then I should be like, I should check in, and then nobody's gonna rob me.
Be for real. That's where he's missing the situation.
I think that just comes down to rap.
It's just like a damn. It's like a hotel.
If in somebody's city, I'd have to check in with them.
Yeah.
But you don't really have to.
So you just be valid.
Come, try and test you.
Yeah. The only problem you would have going to see an art gallery is if you came to Chicago with a lot of clout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without no
it's like I'm gonna
discretion.
Be here this
you know
time, and then somebody pulls up on you, and they got.
That's a way of these rich folk that are intimidating, making more money or like putting themselves even deeper out.
See, that's why whenever I think of Chicago, that's actually what I think about is the art museum because they have the biggest Picasso collection. Is in Chicago.
And who's gonna fuck with you in Chicago while you doing that?
Ain't no gangbangers gonna be around no art museum.
Hey, that'd be the place to rob though.
It would.
You know what I'm saying?
Like these motherfuckers that put on that flex and shit online, they are not smart enough to think that. Yeah. They're not in those situations. Like
so, they're robbing all the poor neighborhoods.
If anything's gonna happen to you in that situation like that, it's gonna be a motherfucker that's a whole lot smarter than to put hands on you while it's going on.
They're like scamming you. They're like taking your credit card information.
I wouldn't say something like that. I was saying like they're just performing a full on heist, and realistically,
like robbing a bank.
Yeah, like and a heist doesn't even really like stealing these high dollar artifacts or paintings and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not worried about you. They're just trying to make sure that you don't do shit to prevent what they got going on. And I hope that you wouldn't be in that bitch visiting to see them shits and like protecting them with your whole entire life.
Nah, hell no.
Exactly. Lay your ass on the ground and let them take that shit.
It's all yours, bro. I ain't getting affected by it.
That shit used to be big before we were born.
What?
Like heist and like.
Oh yeah.
Like the shit
that's because they didn't have the technology
Yeah,
nowadays.
you ever heard of The Heat?
Now.
The Heat?
Yeah, it happened. It's an old movie
based off of true events.
Mm-hmm. It was somewhere in like L.A. They robbed a bank. And like had a full-on shootout with the cops, and they had like armor-piercing bullets and shit.
Whoa!
They all died.
People that robbed the bank had.
Have you ever watched The Town?
Yeah, it's similar.
It's pretty much the exact same thing, but like it was Ben Affleck was the main character, and he pretty much followed his dad that robbed armored trucks in the city, and he fell out of being a professional hockey player, and he got a group of his own together to strategically like rob armored trucks. And this is based off a true story. They got away with it until like the federal government and shit was pretty much just like, we know it's you and we can calculate all the way up to the point of your next heist. But they were being hired to do this for other people. Yeah. And the last heist that they ended up doing some shit like that ended up happening.
DB Cooper?
I've heard that name.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. I've heard that name. Is the guy that he robbed a plane. It was like a big ass plane heist back in I think the 80s. He went up into the plane and he took $250,000 and just he gave the
like airmail type shit.
No, it was like $250,000 just cash, like airmail, I guess. And he was like he handed him a
So it was probably like the first forms of airmail, like you know how we transport like first day flights, like first class mail and shit like that through the airplanes.
Maybe, but the thing is that he slipped him a note and he just signed it.
Weapons.
He signed it DB Cooper, and that's the only thing that they ever he. That took the money. Alias. He took the money. He said that he wanted the money and a parachute. He took the money.
The evidence he left behind was DB Cooper.
And that's not his name.
Bro, you want to know what's crazy?
He jumped out and they actually never found him.
Skydived type
he
shit.
Skydived
somewhere that like somebody was waiting on him.
They said that he was ex-military.
So he probably survived in the wilderness wherever he landed for a few days.
No, it was strategic. He told him I think he told him where to go, specifically where to go.
Like where he would be in the area.
And he they took him there and then he dropped out and then he made it.
You want to know some crazy shit, bro? And the story like that, it's not as crazy. My mom's boyfriend got away with robbing a bank.
Jesus.
So why are you snitching on him on a podcast?
Because look. No. He got away, but years later he ended up going to prison for it because his cousin got selfish and was mad that he wasn't receiving enough money from him and ended up giving a tip and getting him caught.
Oh, what the fuck?
After the fact.
It was after the fact. Like
how did they prove that?
Then that's the reason why he's out. That's why he's my mama's boyfriend now. Like, how do you get accused or like for doing that? But he did it so easily that they couldn't like say like he wholeheartedly did it without no help type of shit. Like it was as simple as him walking in. He was on a lunch break and got the urge to do it, and he had the people that he was with drop him off.
To get rich now.
And he said he walked in the bank and gave the clerk like a note saying like, give me all the money that you can give me or whatever. And like out of fear, that's what she did. And when he ended up getting caught, they like brought her to the stand saying like to see if she had something to do with the shit because he got the shit so fucking easily.
That's really the smartest way though on your lunch break.
And he got the bare minimum.
And then he came back and went to work.
Bro was just mid lunch break about to eat and like, oh shit, I'm about to go rob this.
He's like, fuck.
They was riding past the bank that they rode past all the time, and he told them like, just drop me off. I'll meet y'all back at work.
No, he was thinking like, I'm tired of this shit, and I need to get rich now.
He was like, all right, bro, really just drop me off here.
Yeah, bro. And what's crazy is he got away with the shit, and like he got the tip that he was getting ready to go to jail for it or whatever. Like he was gonna get ran in on it.
Yeah,
and he buried the money. But he was in jail
in his backyard.
He was in jail for so long. By the time he got out, the money was done. Like the earth had gotten to it, and it was useless.
That's how he just threw it in the dirt.
So he didn't bury it that deep. Did
he?
He didn't put it in a box.
He did,
but like
with it.
you gotta like you still decay in a casket, bro. You know what I mean?
Bro,
I've did that before, and like you just
if you put the money in a safe,
bro. But it was there for years, bro. Like he was in prison for, and it wasn't just like you gotta put it in certain types of shit
in a safe.
But like just for instance, like if a tree grows in the area, like a root will break through just about anything unless it's like a steel. Unless it's
That's what I'm saying.
Like barricaded, you know what I'm saying?
What was you thinking?
For people back in that day, they was just trying to stash the cash so nobody else took it.
A bag in a jar?
Mm-hmm. put it in a bag inside of the jar, because I mean the jar will collect condensation, but it'll stay like
Yeah,
bag,
like a jar. Yeah, okay.
But the bag,
I see what you're saying.
The bag will stay like if it's inside a bag, it should be.
I don't
good.
know. It's just
Vacuum
something
I would play it
I would
safe,
have to
though.
study, but it ruined all the money. He didn't get no money when he didn't have nothing waiting on him when he got out.
See, that's so fucked up.
But just to think that
That's
a
so much
motherfucker
bullshit to go through.
got away off some shit like that.
It
What?
happens. It couldn't happen here.
I remember when
thought
I
about it.
first
All of
found
our
out, I
banks
was
are too
like,
fucking close to the police
You've
department.
already planned all of them
No.
out, and it just won't
the
work.
shit could
I
happen
ain't but
back
I
when we
thought
were
about
like
it.
toddlers, bro.
Yeah.
The law was so
Now that
loose.
shit can't happen.
Like
It
I
can't.
know a guy that
It's not
fucking
possible.
stole a Greyhound bus and drove it all the way across from like Statesville to like fucking Shelby. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
know
that
now,
was back in the day.
Whoa.
Nothing was really watched like it is. That's why the laws in Loomis trucks have changed. It used to just be one person. Now one person has to stay in the vehicle while the other person delivers the cash.
You know, if a car is stolen, it'll pop up on their radar thing. Like if they get behind you,
Yeah.
they got some shit now that scans your shit without even them having to call
Like
it in.
They automatically know the VIN and everything.
Yeah, like
Whoa.
some scanner they have on their car.
Really?
Dead ass.
Like it's built into cars.
Yeah,
And
my
it's
parents'
like a
car
trailer
got
in it.
stolen like 2-3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
From the Y area over near the YMCA.
Actually, right behind the state employees.
They stole it from the bank. I remember that, bro.
Right
I
behind
thought it was
the
your
bank.
parents that's got their car stolen.
It was.
Oh,
It was my parents.
That's what he said.
I thought
It
you
was
said your grandparents.
the pharmacy right behind the bank.
They got it
Oh,
on video,
shit.
didn't they?
Mm-hmm. But they couldn't.
That's crazy.
They couldn't like identify the guy. But they found it in Troutman. Like the dude was getting gas in the parking lot. The cop was just riding through, and his thing picked up that it was a stolen car.
In the area,
Dude.
or just like
He was riding through the parking lot, and the radar thing detected it was a stolen car. He didn't even. He was just riding through the parking lot.
Bro, there was one time where I was coming back from, it was like 4 in the morning, and I was coming back from SETH, actually, and we drive past the pharmacy over here, and the shit was busted in. Somebody had broke into the shit, and there was like caution tape over it, and then there was like
Which
3
pharmacy?
cops. This one right down the road.
It gets robbed all the time. I swear it's inside.
And bro, they called them in like Statesville or
It's
some
happened way
shit.
too many times.
Yeah, it's happened like 4 or 5 times. I think.
Bro, that is so
Do you
Do you
crazy.
ever wonder
Bro,
like
today
what
I
all
was
goes
supposed
on
to
inside
deliver-
this county? Like all the dirty shit.
I mean,
Like all these stores that shouldn't even fucking be open. Like there's no way they pay
the
rent.
only reason they make
Yeah.
a living around Alexander County is something illegal, realistically.
Like low key,
You
like the
think so?
Odoms.
They're doing something else.
said who?
The Odoms.
I don't want to talk about nothing like that.
Yeah, but that shit gets
I don't.
it gets deep though.
Damn.
I don't know nothing, but I don't. But
He's a part of it.
but do you know? There's a detailing company in. They said it's a detailing company somewhere around here, and during COVID was like around the time that they were booming, like booming, and it was during COVID.
Yeah.
What detailing company can keep a business afloat like that during COVID?
You talking about that place up there across from the motel?
He don't give a fuck. If he finds out the name, he'll tell it right the
That's what I
fuck
thought you was
now.
talking about too. The damn, what's it called?
Don't even worry about it. Before, I don't know what the
knows.
name is.
Hey, if you wanna come
that was
over
a
here?
car shop though, I think.
Yeah, bro, come on over here.
It just and all I ever hear about shit is just rumors and stories and shit. I don't never really like to go into shit because I don't. It doesn't necessarily directly affect me, and I don't want
and
to
me
get caught
can
up
share
into
this.
it. But the understanding of like it's almost kind of like conspiracy theories. There's shit to believe in and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or it wouldn't be
No,
a story to
yeah.
begin with. You know what I mean? Like there's validation to it all.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
A story wouldn't be believable without certain facts. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it makes it controversial because it turns into like a lot of he say she say
Like
shit.
a conspiracy.
That's why a lot of shit is turned into conspiracies.
Like
nowadays.
you know about the you heard about the damn mattress firms? Like why the fuck is there so many mattress firms on each block?
You know,
Like
They
in
be
Hickory,
stuffing-
there's
do y'all
like
think
5
they be
mattress firms.
like stuffing the mattresses
and you only
with
see
shit?
like one person there every single day.
you know that one.
I didn't
that's,
think
like,
about that.
Yeah.
right there near McDonald's. In
Where?
town. It's
in town?
right there off Main Street. It ain't. I don't think it's one anymore, but it was.
Yeah,
one.
it's right in the corner of the Peak where everything right beside the ABC store.
You know,
and that.
they got raided one time. Like
Whoa.
I literally went there to buy a mattress one time once in my
Probably,
life.
They were selling weed in there.
Yeah, they got caught up doing something.
I swear they was.
And the
But
SWAT team will bust up in there.
But that's what I mean. Dude. Like, there's so much dirty shit that goes on inside this county.
You would never really be able to uncover it because it goes as deep as the head. Bro, I heard stories about like old sheriffs, past sheriffs, like sheriffs in our county that just take advantage kind of their authority and just do shit because they can. Not that like we would assume that it's like stupid illegal, but like it being illegal in itself is enough. You know what I'm saying? To understand like why are you arresting people and charging people with things that like you could
still
like a corruption.
Don't fuck with me. I ain't got nothing on y'all.
Them motherfuckers can do
I
whatever they
ain't trying to
want
get harassed too.
You said what?
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, instead of being guilty and
I'm
still
just an
proven
innocent
innocent.
bystander.
Citizen chilling.
Instead of being, but a lot, you're a citizen chilling. But if you were to talk to the police, you are considered guilty until you can prove that you're innocent.
But it's supposed to be the other way around.
It's supposed to be you're
Yeah.
innocent until proven guilty, bro. You don't ever recognize until you get in that situation that it's the opposite. And I was asking one of my homeboys, he works at a different post office than me, and he had left somebody's like mailboxes open. And the police, when he went back to fix it, the police was there like waiting on him, and like instead of like just waiting to make sure he got it closed or whatever, he was like, "What the fuck are you doing with all these people's mail and shit on the ground?" And he was just trying to explain himself because it's the police, and he was like, we're busy at my job too. What the fuck is any different between yours? We already talked to your supervisor, like trying to get him in trouble and shit. And he realized like he kind of had his hands tied behind his back in that situation because it's the police. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I tried to tell him like, bro, you got a right. That's your job. You can stand up for yourself. And he was like, you are all right, but at the end of the day, he got a gun.
Word. Yeah, and
but can they press y'all like that just because y'all both work different jobs?
They really can't. And for me, it would be a completely different situation. But I can't be wrong and not understand where he's coming from.
But at the same time, you ain't trying to do too much and get yourself fired.
Yeah,
you
don't want to escalate
shit,
the situation just to protect your manhood, and that's essentially what they want.
You just gotta take it to the chin and just fuck it. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, won't do it again.
But that police literally, like, I hate to say that it was like racially profiling, but the police that let him know that he left boxes open were of color, and they were nice. They were like, "Hey, bro, we just want to let you know you made a mistake back there. You need to go back and fix it." And it was another cop over there waiting on him just to scold him. You know what I'm saying?
I think some of them just hate on the younger generation. They think we're fucking idiots.
At my job, that's literally the only
we're all dopies.
problem I have with my job.
Bunch of
You know what I'm saying?
dopies.
Like, they see that we have the same opportunity that everybody has, but we have it in front of us. You know what I'm saying? So they essentially are just like, fuck you for that.
Life was so much easier back then. Like, you could buy things. You can't. It's so hard to get approved for a loan and shit now.
Boy.
Yeah,
They don't teach you about loans is one thing. The first time I ever learned about credit, loans, and all that shit was when I was asking my Uncle Didi for help when I was in college. And he sat me down. He sat me down and was like, "Look, your mama don't know nothing about this because she struggles with it herself, and I struggle with it myself." But
it's to keep people down.
He's in his 40s and he's just now being able to retire. But he was telling me like,
that's good to retire in your 40s.
It's good, but he was telling me if he would have known what he's known now, bro, the money that he made and touched, just like we regret it to ourselves, shit could be so much different just by staying down for 6 months to a year, or even
for sure
understanding the knowledge that you can get from just learning for a certain period of time instead of trying to take advantage of it all and tackling it all based off of your own knowledge. Because you will learn and you can get far, but you realize once you do get a certain distance that you got that far based off of trial and error.
Connections, really.
About what you know, it's about who you know.
Mm-hmm. And it, like, a lot of people that stay down and try to focus and zero in on themselves, they disregard that open mind of not who you know, but what you know type of shit. Like they're more or less like, I know what I'm working on and focused on, which is a good thing, but they more or less disregard that there's anything that somebody else can tell them to help. You know what I mean?
Some people lose themselves too, bro. Just doing that shit.
Yeah, bro. It's life, bro. And I also read this thing, and it was saying as a man, and I'm not trying to disregard the women aspect, but as a young adult, we stress the most as a male because like it's everything against us to be successful or else. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a competition too. We see other people that are further than we are, and we think that we got to be at this level.
It's levels to this shit. If you start with it, some people are blessed to start with it, but there's so many people in this world that get so much further because they didn't start with it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is low key a competition too, for real.
If you get that deep into it, if you get that deep into it,
that's where people get carried away. As they make it a competition. It's like,
that's where people get in trouble.
I mean, it's a competition, but like the cool thing is like it doesn't take much effort to stand out from like if you're talking about like competition with other men. I mean, hell, a lot of them don't even fucking like brush their teeth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Bro.
So I mean, it's not like it's a huge leap and bound effort to be able to stand out.
Yeah,
but we get so caught up in because like on social media, and we talk about this all the time. The only thing, and I will admit it for myself, granted, just based off of watching it off of other people too, I had to get away from it because I'm not gonna post a down situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey y'all, I'm broke. I'm not gonna make it out of this situation. I don't want anybody to know that. Yeah. But when I'm doing good, I'm gonna make a post. When I'm looking good, I'm gonna make a post. When it looks like I got shit figured out, and that's where everybody correlates to himself, and that's why it becomes a competition. But like he was saying,
I'm trying to stop.
We be in competition with people that don't even brush their teeth in the morning.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like it doesn't take much to break into that like top 20%.
You can edit that plaque off your shit now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's something else I've noticed just by posting things that I post. Like, there's a lot of people that are less fortunate, and they don't. To them, I'm bragging,
and that's what makes their storyline so much better.
Yeah. And like I don't even think of it like that because like I never had the shit and I'm finally getting it, so I want to show it off. But
and it looks like you're being arrogant and shit, but like from a person that never had shit to even have a little bit. It's like I'm just happy for myself. I never had this shit. What do you mean I can't flex it?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't born with the silver spoon.
Yeah, bro. Fuck y'all, bro.
And it's also to an extent like what you want in life as well because
this shit
what you want is determined by, well, I mean, who you're in competition with is determined by what you want.
Look, because the biggest saying is,
and where you're at.
It's not on me, it's in me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not. You're not gonna see it. You're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? Like it's completely different between like showing a different lifestyle, like that one dude that we be talking about with the watch.
Yeah.
Sanders.
No, I'm. Why are you always trying to?
He's just dropping people's names.
Deion Sanders with the watch, bro. You're not gonna. This nigga was giving away money this week. You know what I'm saying?
He was giving away money this week?
Yes.
It's probably because of that Charleston White interview with goddamn fucking Cam Newton. Y'all seen that shit? Oh, yeah. He was calling him a straight up bitch and everything.
Cam Newton was calling Charleston White?
No, Charleston White was calling Deion Sanders a bitch. He kept on saying, fuck him. Fuck Deion Sanders. Fuck him.
And he called Adam 22 as fucking slave master. I was like, bro, what?
He was like, master.
He a slave master. I'm like, what, bro?
Bro, I fuck with Charleston White heavy, dude. You don't fuck with Charleston?
He's funny as fuck.
He's just, you know, he makes his money well.
Yeah.
I remember when he first started explaining to us about how he would get a job and just get him in a situation to sue him for $20,000 and leave.
He's smart. He's smart as fuck.
I fuck with him heavy.
And the thing is like, I don't know how to explain it.
He took trolling to a
he does. Well, no, he does what's in like his best interest, like what's best for him. Like,
like the shit that we do.
You run
for
up
fun,
on him, you're gonna find out type shit.
Yeah,
like the shit that we do for fun, picking and playing, like to get views or to like to do this and that. He's found a way to make money off of it.
For sure,
he embraces it to the full extent. He is
bro,
he really fuck with this person.
He really be helping out like communities and shit too. He does. For real. That's why he kept on saying fuck Deion Sanders because Deion Sanders don't really be doing shit for like he claims that he does
generating more income for himself, so he'll never die. Essentially, that's the way I look at it, and I hate to say that.
Who?
Deion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to take away from dude's good,
but he was
football is his shit. But outside of it, he's doing this and this and this and this, and realistically,
everybody
the
has
only
a life,
thing
though.
He's just doing it to keep. He has his life, but he's just doing these extra things he's doing to keep his bankroll.
Like
up.
the way he capitalized on that sunglasses shit, where he sold all them sunglasses.
He literally made a mountain out of a molehill to promote a sunglass. You know what I'm saying? Like a coach said, like he doesn't wear sunglasses in interviews. He took that shit and ran with it and made a whole sunglass like hub. And because of that, everybody buys the fuck out of his sunglasses because he's in the middle of some shit that is irrelevant.
See,
really.
but that's why Charleston White was saying fuck him though, is because whenever he'd be doing shit for the community. I really don't know much about him, but it's whenever he said that he was doing shit for the community, it wasn't really to do it for the community for those people. It's to get some clout on his name or to make him more
just
money.
like the BLM movement. And the two girls that was technically over the hashtag that was receiving money the entire time.
They got like what, 80 mil or something like that? How much did
they bought houses, cars,
all over a non-profit organization because they own kind of considered like a trademark from a hashtag.
Bro, I was talking about that shit before they even got caught about that shit for real. And there was a bunch of that's what's with all those conspiracies and shit. There was a whole bunch of conspiracies and shit about a whole bunch of different things.
You remember when George Floyd died and everybody was BLM and like
I honestly tried not to pay too much attention.
Okay, so BLM was a movement. People were buying shirts.
You know about BLM.
I thought that it was just going to be some shit and then just like,
it was a big ass scam.
There was two
You know,
women that owned the trademark of BLM, and every time they were like, everybody was like, donate to Black Lives Matter. Every time you donated to Black Lives Matter, you were donating to their non-profit organization.
For real. And they had a couple people that was put into their taxes whenever they done their taxes, because they're a non-profit, a 501c. They have to have all their taxes filed, and it's public information.
So all these poor people
everybody
that they were
can
considered receiving donations for, they receive money back for helping them.
Is that not fraud in some way?
Absolutely,
I'm pretty sure they're
like
facing jail time for that. I'm pretty sure. That's
absolutely,
like making a
it's fraud.
GoFundMe for like you having cancer and not having cancer.
Yep.
Yeah,
People get in trouble for that shit all the time.
Essentially, I'm
For
thinking
sure.
that's what type of trouble they're getting into.
That's fraud.
Kind of like
it's-
the
I don't know what it's called, but it's a level of fraud.
PPP type
Definitely.
of shit. Like people were faking businesses to get an extra 10K. Here, take this. I gotta pee.
no, it definitely was on that shit, because they was, and it shows in their tax records, they was giving a whole bunch of money to a bunch of different companies and everything, and they never did their taxes. And it was a bunch of fake ass companies too.
It wasn't a bodyguard was paid like $6 or $7 million.
Yeah, they're so-called bodyguard,
Insane people
which
have
was
that kind
her.
of money.
Yeah, which was her.
It's like a family member.
It was her son. It was her, the girl that started BLM. It was her son. She was giving him money, a whole like millions, for being a quote unquote bodyguard.
Yeah, it was like a roundabout way of like her getting the money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's something else Charleston White was talking about, was like if you're over a certain level, like all you need realistically is 5-10 million. Anything over that, like you're a dirty individual.
For instance,
For sure.
like the post office, we are considered like we're a service to the government. So every year we have to file, like when they file their taxes as a group, we are not able to make money. So every money that they give the post office to do shit, they have to spend every bit of it, or whatever money they don't spend, they give it in bonuses to like the higher ups and
They
shit.
do some fuck shit when they don't even need the money.
Exactly. They just sit in the office all day while everybody else does the
That shit
job,
pisses
and they
me
receive
off.
the bonuses for trying to cut. They literally all year they try to cut cost, but they cut costs so they can receive a bonus at the end of every year.
See, that's what was so
'Cause
crazy
we have to file for zero
about
income.
the banking crisis that happened, or it was the housing crisis that happened in 2008.
I hope that shit happens this year.
Well, the thing
coming
is
soon.
that
It's coming soon.
the shit, like there was a bunch of
I feel like it's gonna happen right before election.
yeah, probably.
That makes a lot of sense too.
I really do. I feel like it's coming because like things are going up right now. Like the stocks. Have you seen them? Shit's been going up, even crypto.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
I feel like come
For
February,
sure.
March, April, around that time, shit's gonna drop.
Stuff fluctuates. It's like a
And I got
It's like
news.
waves.
If Biden wins, we're fucked.
He's not winning, bro.
If he does,
We're fucked.
We're fucked. There ain't no.
08 times 2.
There's no
08
return.
times
I don't
two,
even
it really
think
will
we'd
be.
return. Dead ass.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a comeback. Like, dude,
For real.
people we wouldn't be able to afford food and shit. Like, inflation would only get worse. Like,
There'd probably be a war, world war. Probably
The thing is, now we're going in so much debt right now that, like, if somebody don't do something about it right now, we're actually going to be fucked as a country, and there's going to be so much inflation. It's going to be unreal. Like, you know what's happening
that's why I'm waiting to start up a business and shit. Because, like, now's the worst time in reality. Because, like, all small business owners, you're going to be fucked once this time comes.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't going to have money to make it. And I feel like the government won't give more stimuluses.
Oh, no, hell no.
I feel like once that time comes...
And then by then, and the more stimulus that gets pumped into the economy too,
that's the worst it gets.
It's just there's going to be more and more inflation.
Yeah, because it lessens the dollar.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So if you can just print money on demand like that, then what the fuck is it worth? Seriously,
monopoly money.
And literally, what the government can do right now is literally, because it's not backed by gold anymore, they can literally print money out of thin air.
Just as much as they want. You know, when they print money, they have a dude that goes up to a computer and just types in the number.
And then there you go.
Yeah, he'll type in like 2 trillion and now,
and then you get more money
in the system.
Yep, circulated right then on there on the spot. For real.
It's literally an infinite money glitch.
That's just not
It really is. It shit ain't real. And so literally right now in our economy, the only value that the dollar has right now is based off of how much trust the people has in the dollar at this very moment.
Trust, yeah.
Seriously, it's literally just trust. So if everybody, if the majority of the country at one time was like, the dollar doesn't really mean anything anymore, then the value just goes down.
We're gonna start bartering chickens and stuff.
Seriously,
I feel like that's how shit was meant to be. Like somebody do something like you're a blacksmith, you're a farmer, you're something, like you make something. You know what I mean? Like and then you trade goods.
Yeah.
Like that's how.
Yeah, bro.
Like
that's why. See, that's why I took.
I think they did.
That's why I don't really like to save money anymore.
I feel like that's how things. I feel like shit should have never left that.
Yeah. That's why I don't really like to save money anymore, and I like to prefer to buy
now
things.
Say you're a fool if you save.
Like
money.
if you're saving money, like it's so crazy because if you put it, because people have this concept of a savings account or even a savings account.
I still save money.
Even in a savings account, say even in most banks, it's going to be less than even less than 1%. In most savings account. But even at 5%, inflation is 7% each fucking year.
Well,
roughly it's 7% each year.
It's supposed to it's supposed to be 2%.
You said what?
But it's
not. At one point it dropped though. Inflation.
Of course.
I think when was that? Like probably the Great Depression.
What, inflation?
Yeah, like there was a point in history when it dropped. I don't know.
It fluctuates. It like in the 70s, it was pretty bad, and then it went.
I seen at one point like it was. This was back when like shit was cents. Like it was like shit wasn't really dollars yet.
Are you talking about like in the 50s and shit?
Probably it went up for a while and then dropped back down.
So the depression was like in the 20s, and then like.
Honestly, I don't remember when it was. But I've had a conspiracy. Do you think it's like when we allowed women to start working? Well, no, think about it, because more income has to come into, like, more money is going to be created when women started working.
If you double the workforce, then you're going to have like
that happened in about like.
But I mean, it's an economic thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you double the workforce, then you're going to have double the amount of workers.
Yeah.
So like say if there's only like. If you have a huge influx of workers and the amount of work you have stays the same,
yeah.
In order to hire all these people, you have to divide the income by 2 in order to employ everybody.
You do all this math and shit, but this is one thing. But that really is what it boils down to. If you're gonna pay somebody, you got to do a whole bunch of math and shit. But it all boils down to this: if we are America and we're in so much debt and we print money, how is debt a thing?
That's what we were
America.
saying.
Well, the other thing is the U.S. dollar is the reserve currency of the world, so it's not like anybody's going to come along, but hey, U.S., you're going to pay your debt. You're like, look, dog, like
our debt
You
is
use
so
our
much
money.
more.
If this goes down the drain, you're going down the drain too.
Yeah, just like if you go to some third world countries, like our dollar is way more than their like they live on pennies to our dollar essentially.
Yeah, and in places like Europe, their euro's worth more than our dollar. So if you went to Europe, right, and you exchanged out $1 for like a euro, you're only gonna get like 74 cents, 75
Where was
cents.
it? I read somewhere you could live like a king for like $300.
It's like probably like Thailand or something like that.
That's where
there's people like from Europe that will that say making $30K a year or something like that. They move there and it's like $150K.
When I went to Cali, my homeboy's dad was explaining to me that because they live kind of like close to Mexicali, which is like the border of Mexico, like the bottom. But they were saying what they do is they get these remote jobs because when COVID came around, everybody was doing these remote jobs from home. And since like Mexico lives on pennies to our dollar, what they were doing was they were going and buying houses or finding homes and places to stay in Mexico and keeping their job in America and making U.S. currency and living in another country.
That's crazy you bring that.
And I think that's embezzlement, but go ahead.
There was when my brother first moved to California, like he was working at Cisco, and one of his roommates was from India, and he was working at Cisco too, and he's making really good money, but he'd sent all his money back to his family in India, and it took care of his whole family. And in India, they have like huge extended families, like all multiple generations.
He was like he was the rich guy.
He was the rich guy taking care of the family.
So like at any point in time, if he was to come back home, they would cherish and treat him like they're the man of the house essentially.
Yeah, because the exchange
dollar
rate of the
is so
currency,
much less.
He was already making six figures, so to them it was like $1 million. He was $1 millionaire.
That's what they do in a bunch of different countries whenever they come here, especially anywheres in like Mexico or a lot of people in South America.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but they don't come here they come here to make a better life for themselves and their families if they can manage to get them here. But like it's so hard for them to manage both and be legal. You know what I'm saying?
They come here because they hear that American dream bullshit.
Oh, it is true, and it's 100% true. Like I work. Like I said, when I was an electrician, I worked with a guy that was a legal citizen, and he had only been here for 6 years. And my boss had like helped him get his citizenship and shit. And he was explaining to me that there was nothing that I should be complaining about because I was in America.
And that's the thing too. That's what we was talking about earlier.
My boss also hired people that he helped cross the border illegally and paid them.
One of my neighbors was old neighbors was Hispanic, and he told me the story of how they got across the border, bro.
It's crazy shit, bro. Like the guy that I talked to, he had tried to cross the border 3 times, and the only reason he got across the border was because he was with he crossed the border with some guys that were fatter, like more. They weren't as in shape as him, and it turns out they had to run through the woods and cover themselves up with leaves, and the other guys had got caught.
Because they were fatter and
slower.
And the thing is that it's well, that's crazy.
And he literally
that's fucking wild.
he barely made it. He made it to Texas and somehow found his way from Texas to get a job in North Carolina.
But the thing is that all these people are doing that because they
it's
know that
life.
They know that it's worth it. And you said the American dream bullshit, but the thing is that
it is a dream
in America.
It's just a dream.
In America, yeah. Well, it's not complete bullshit because in America you can make
the American.
You can make life whatever you want.
Money. You can make more money in America than you can anywhere else.
I wouldn't say you can make
because my boss was paying these people
wanted.
Piecework, like bare minimum to do the most. But they were happy to have the job. Like they literally crossed the border to do what they were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Because here in America, you can do
it's
an easy job.
Our dollar's 3x.
I mean,
you can't be born into a shitty life though.
Yeah,
that's
anywhere.
In America though, you are given. You have a window of opportunity if you want.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's no excuse that you're poor. You came from the bottom unless you have an actual disability to not make it.
Okay, say you got a sick grandma that you got to take care of. So you got to work some bullshit job. You can't go off to college. You think about that.
Bro, I hate to say this, but I was kind of in the situation a little bit. It wasn't. I didn't come back from college because my grandma was sick. But when I came back from college, I wanted to go back, and she was sick.
Makes life hard.
I almost lost my job because she was sick.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I remember that.
But I was calling out because she had in-home house visits, and I was the only one that could be there for them. And my job sent out FMLA paperwork saying, like, you are essentially protected. But when it all came push to shove, my job was like, if you haven't worked here for a certain amount of time, the FMLA paperwork doesn't matter.
That's
and they
what I
wrote
hate
me
about,
up for
like,
every call out that was reasonable for her doctor's visits and shit. So I almost got wrote up and fired because I was calling out so much during the peak of her sickness because I had to be there so she could have a doctor's visit because it was in home.
Family is always more important, though.
It got to the point where I told them, I was like, bro, this is my mama on her deathbed right now. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. Y'all can fire me right now because I'm not going to come to work if they call me and say they need me.
That's exactly what I told them whenever I had to fucking fly back here for my grandma's shit. I said, bro, I'm going home. That shit's like 2,000 miles away, but I'm going home.
The way the world that we live in is so dog eat dog. Nobody really gives a fuck about what you got going on.
They really don't.
I mean, unless you have a genuine relationship with
Unless
them.
you work for like
sure.
a small business. It's the Fortune 500 companies that don't give a
Oh
fuck.
yeah, they actually do
But-
treat you like a number.
But like
For
if
sure.
you're working
'Cause
for
they
a small, like in
Your
okay,
number depends on their They had no choice but to give a fuck about you. You directly correlate to their income.
Bro, the best companies that I've ever worked for has been definitely small businesses or owned by families.
Because they recognize you. If you weren't to show up, they would be
They
missing
see you
something.
as a person.
For real, they
And
actually
not
really
just-
do.
You're a
And the
valuable
like a
owners will
asset.
come
disposable
down.
person. Like when I worked at Statesville Brick, they called us pickers. And I was like, like that fucking
Like at
just
MDI,
because
they did the
all
same
you do
thing.
is like grab bricks and like stack them, and it's like like I'm more than that. Like the fuck.
Exactly, but the owner of that business, I ain't gonna say like he directly inherited it, but he doesn't know anything about being a picker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For most small businesses, the person who owns it started doing what these guys are doing. So like, in order to be in a position to hire somebody
Or
else
that
to
is
take
born
over,
into it.
yeah. But like for the people that are born into it, that's not really like a mom. They're not directly invested. They don't.
Some people do. Though.
But
Some
it's
people,
because
they see like what they have.
They were
and, like,
raised up into
this
that.
is easier than going out and trying to get it on
They
my
are
own.
taught with the understanding that like you have to treat people nicely to have shit. Because if you don't continue the legacy that you are bought into, then you're not gonna have it. Essentially. So like, for instance, my boss at the old electrical company I had, he inherited his part of the company, and the first year he made the amount of money that his dad was making before he passed, and he spent his first whole year's worth of money on crack with his best friend.
What the fuck?
Yes, yeah, but he spent the
took a
first
turn.
he spent the first bit of money on crack, and the guy that he was doing crack with, running this shit with, he ended up falling off a 3-story building and almost breaking every bone in his body. And his company relied on that. You know what I'm saying? So
They relied on him jumping off of the damn.
because that shit happened while he was on the job. Like his company was pretty much going to go under to take care of it. You know, because he was considered an employee.
That's one of the shitty things about that line of work. Like anything, like construction, any of that. 90% of them people are on shit.
Yes, and
know.
essentially the guys that I worked with that was there, he was taking them in off of like being out of rehab or getting out of jail for hard drug charges and trying to give them a better life, because that's essentially what started him doing the shit. You know, he was getting ready to go under, and he had to make a choice to either stop what he's doing and change it, fix it, or lose $1 million business that he inherited based off of not doing shit. He was forced to roll his sleeves up and put in the work that you have to do to have shit.
That's crazy.
But like a lot of people just inherit shit like that, and they don't reach that situation or a situation like that until they're further on into it, and they don't know what to do except be bankrupt or get rid of it. You know what I mean? And that's where generational wealth ends.
Yeah, most time generational wealth doesn't
It
last.
don't go far.
It really
You know something
don't.
I
2 or
thought
3.
about?
What?
Most
2 or 3 generations.
Most families that like make it up there, they've had to do some dirty shit. And,
Yes,
and they're
either dirty shit or somebody in there
like embezzling, money laundering,
It's something illegal.
doing something to get their family up there.
Oh yeah.
Like there's another family around here that got in trouble for some shit. The Starnes,
I don't know him.
Don't know.
Pat Starnes.
I know him, but I don't know like his people and shit like that.
Oh no, I ain't gonna go ahead and answer it.
It had, but there's plenty of fucking.
If you know anything that goes on in Taylorsville, you've heard about it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anyways,
regardless, like sometimes the cookie crumbles in a good way, but like if you don't know how to make another cookie out of them crumbles, you just gonna be fucked up.
This town's just a sinkhole.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's why a lot of people don't get further than the small businesses that we're talking about, and we even think the businesses that are big around here are they are the smallest of the. What is Alexander County for real? You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody know.
Like part of us say that we're Hickory, part of us say that we're Statesville, the other part of us says that we're vast. Like nobody really claims Alexander County. If you want me to be honest,
hell no. Because if you're talking to somebody that's not even from anywhere as close to around here, you just gotta say Charlotte
or fucking Hickory.
Where the fuck is Taylorsville?
You literally gotta say Charlotte.
I say in between Hickory and Statesville. Yeah. That's what I say.
We met a girl in fucking Vegas.
Yeah, we met a girl in Vegas that was from Hickory,
Gastonia or
what
some
the
shit
fuck?
like. Yeah, bruh.
Small world.
Small world as fuck.
Small world.
When we talk about North Carolina in general, the only thing people can relate to is Charlotte,
yeah, or
Raleigh.
We do got a good state though.
That's why I
or Chapel Hill.
They be like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "Just
Charlotte."
But like
it's
really,
an hour
Chapel
from
Hill,
Charlotte.
I couldn't tell you exactly where
Yeah.
Chapel Hill is. I couldn't
Chapel
tell you. I
Hill.
know it's somewhere near around Raleigh.
Chapel Hill is in
UNC Charlotte.
Durham. No, Durham.
It's Raleigh is where NC
Or
State is. It's
Raleigh.
like
Winston,
it's not
maybe?
too far from State.
It's like 45 minutes from.
Winston is where Duke is. It's close.
Duke's in Durham.
I really don't know.
I think.
Oh, I'm thinking about
I
Wake
ain't-
Forest. is
Down
in
yonder?
Winston.
I ain't got the slightest clue.
Way down yonder.
But you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna recognize anything unless it's Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Even
Seriously.
where the big name schools are from, you don't know exactly where to find them at. And we live in North Carolina.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Just type that shit in a GPS.
I do that shit so often. Now that
Don't
I
nobody
work
know.
for the post office, like my general area, I know like you can just give me a street name and I can take
Yeah,
you there.
that's how I am with all of Alexander County. I know about every road here.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Especially
Just
whenever I
from-
had to deliver pizza around
Yeah,
here.
delivering
Yeah.
pieces. That's what did it for me.
For real.
I did,
I
dude,
forgot
there was
you
some,
did that. You worked at Pizza Hut, didn't you?
Dude, there was some people.
I didn't
straight
even know you did
assholes.
that.
Like, yeah, damn. We went to high school with them. They were like borderline, like sped.
Did they work there?
No, they their family ordered pizza a lot, and they was always like troublemakers. Like when I delivered the pizza, like they would say that I flipped it upside down and shit. Like
Try to get it for free.
they was
just
getting
like dirty
and
shit.
do you know Reggie Caleb Dua's dad?
Yeah, Reggie,
Yeah.
the one that owns.
Yeah, and dude, he was so nice. He'd always give
it to him.
He gave shit to people, like
Because he just wasn't confrontational.
yeah.
Is he still there?
Yeah,
He's
he's
still
forever.
running
He pretty
shit.
much owns the shit.
I think he. Well,
Like
no,
a
he's
franchise.
been the regional manager.
He's a
for, like,
piece of the franchise,
for a
ain't he?
long
Like he's
time.
got like 10% or some shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But
That boy been in there.
damn it, I'm trying to
Oh, Frazier.
Lee and his brother.
Yeah, I don't remember his brother's name.
I worked at
But,
the Domino's.
Dude, every time I deliver it, they try and act so hard. I'd be like, this is ignorant shit.
His brother
dude.
does fit in that lifestyle. I see him around Statesville a lot.
See, I've never seen his brother.
His brother
just
lives
figured
in
it was
Statesville
all
now, and He
bullshit.
just kind of fit in with that crowd a little bit.
Like I figured
Lee's
it was
been
always
been
bullshit.
different.
Aren't they twins?
Yeah, they're twins.
Okay.
I didn't really make much of it because like I thought
Nobody
that they
ever
was,
did. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't treat.
It's just like I hated driving all the way out there. They not fucking tip me, like treat me like I'm shit.
Like you knew better before you even went there. Like what it was gonna
nobody
be.
else wanted to take the run. Like
So
and
you just had
Reggie
to.
knew I was the one that would like handle it the best out of everybody. So and
A
he
lot of
actually
people would go there and almost lose their job if it was any. If it
they I don't really know. They just
was
they
scared
old.
or intimidated to do.
Type
But we have
shit.
people in the post office that are afraid to do certain routes because of the environment that they're in and shit. And I'm just like,
Nobody is really going to touch you.
you're the fucking mailman, like,
Exactly.
and that's what I was trying to tell my homeboy that got intimidated by the police. I was like, at the end of the day, I know he does have a gun on his hip, but do you really think the police is gonna shoot the fucking mail carrier for a disagreement?
Hell
Or,
no.
you know what I'm saying? If anything, he's gonna try to arrest you, but do you really
Just
think he's
fucking
gonna
frame your
justifiably, like, reasonably justify that he had a reason to put you in cuffs or even detain you while you were doing your job? You know what I mean?
This
I
day
ain't
and time,
talking-
I don't know.
I ain't talking shit by any means, but like, I feel like a lot of the shit that happens between police and people, like, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of times people damn like bring it on themselves. Like if
People,
you,
people
if
take
you-
it too far.
because if you just put your hands behind your back, let them detain you.
Like if you be compliant.
Yeah,
Most of the time
I've been-
people aren't compliant.
I've been putting
They can't do
for
shit
no
for no reason.
For no
And you
reason?
can be putting handcuffs for no reason, but at the end of the day, if some shit like that happens, let that shit happen because
Just-
you're gonna get
Yeah.
paid.
Don't try and
Seriously.
fight it. Do not try and fight it. That's the
Seriously.
worst thing you can do.
Coming through town one time, there was literally I seen the police. They waited at a green light for my light to turn green so I could come past them, and they got behind me and pulled me over 3 cars deep because I had a tag light out that they didn't even see before I got in front
I've
of
been
them.
pulled on
I
so
ain't-
much
I ain't gonna
bullshit
say
before.
my shit was for no reason. We was at East Park smoking and shit, but it was just me and my boy and his parents. Were
He's like down there smoking
getting-
crack.
they were like in the middle of a divorce, so
Whoa.
They were arguing and y'all got out the house type shit.
yeah. And he was like, he just wanted to get out the house, and then we go down to the East Park and go
Ain't
smoke
that some
and
shit?
And then we
Just
just
get
see a cop
bothered.
come down there.
Damn, I've had that shit happen before.
That shit happened with Jeremiah Medina and them when he was a freshman in high school, and they almost got kicked off the soccer team and shit. They got caught with
Damn.
Ryan and them smoking at JC.
Dude, there
Yeah, I was about to say JC used to be the spot. Actually, I remember when that happened. I was with them. I think right before that, and I
Just
left.
some little kid shit that we used to do.
Yeah, just
and
typical
like,
shit.
The police didn't really even catch them with shit. They just knew that they were guilty.
Knew
type
that they
shit,
were high
and they
as
took
fuck.
advantage of it and was just like, you can get this, you can get that. Y'all are in trouble.
That's
for
why I
this.
never liked Millsaps and Dan Stevenson. They always try because their only job is to be a fucking resource officer.
They only try
They-
to talk
they-
you into admitting to your guilt.
They
not
loved
even
any
being
little
guilty.
action they got. Like when the fucking gun threat shit went on. Dude, they was all
They
over that
They
shit.
almost shut down the whole school, and nothing was really.
They turned SWAT.
It was
Bro,
an
we
EC
had a-
kid
Damn
that
near,
just
dude,
said
walking
something
dogs
about-
down the hallway
Oh,
and shit. Like, what the
shit.
fuck?
All because an EC kid had said something
Bro, we
about
had
hurting
a-
somebody.
Yeah.
We had a cookout at the park, and the cops
Bro,
came.
tried to.
Oh,
I was
shit.
there.
And they-
When they was trying to do like OOF functions and,
And
shit.
shit.
called me. They called me and my little brother by our nicknames. We like, bro, what the fuck? Like the cops.
Oh shit!
everybody's
And they
looking at-
didn't even know you like that.
Nah, because it was like they knew everybody in the group. Because like the
They
cops
knew what was going on.
They pay
They
attention.
went to school with us too, though. So and then we was like, bro, what the? Why you calling me by my nickname, bro? That's not even cool, bro.
And bro, that make you look like the police.
Yeah.
But like
I
they
think
really
they
be
do-
telling on themselves though. Like
They
they
do
be
that
like,
shit on purpose, though.
They be like, oh, you're boozy. Like for
Yeah,
instance,
nigga,
there was a
you was
homeboy that
drinking
we
and
knew
smoking
that
with
was
me, like,
selling and
a
didn't
month
have no
ago.
job and
Damn.
shit. And he was always posting like he would get a new car every couple months, or like his car would fuck up and he'd get a new car. And he said something about like the police that was friends with him on Facebook was commenting on his shit like nice new car and shit like that.
Yeah, they watching
Asking
you,
him
my boy.
questions like,
Damn.
and he don't. Everybody know he don't got no job, so how the hell he get a new car every so often? You know what I'm saying? It's just be like
Shit.
stupid shit like that, bro.
That sounds like Lil Mike.
They know.
I don't know if I don't think I can't say I'm talking about anybody particular, but the instance in itself, bro, it be. And I remember talking to an old head who had did a bit in prison or whatever, and he was explaining to all us youngins that knew we was just in some shit, and he was just like, you don't never want to get into making some money that ain't legal without a legal way of making money, because you'll never be able to explain yourself when shit hit the fan. And it makes so much sense. Why that would be the first, like, if you're gonna do something illegal, you better be doing something legal. In my eyes,
yeah.
because like you have no disguise to this shit.
So like
Definitely.
having a
You have
business
to
and then
have
money
something.
laundering.
Like,
Yeah,
you
like
have to
that's
have
what I'm saying.
something.
Like if you're gonna money launder, you better at least money launder through a business so it looks like you're
Better
doing
do it the
something
right
right.
way.
I think a lot of times, like I was saying earlier, like businesses around here, only reason they made it so long is because
They hit it.
they had
Doing
a front,
something. Yeah, they're doing something.
and the
Yeah.
cops ain't gonna fuck with because you're bringing money to the community. Like you're keeping
Essentially-
money here.
Exactly. Essentially, like it's just like the IRS with the whole weed restrictions and laws and shit. Certain areas are like literally everywhere around
Fuck
us.
the
we can
IRS.
go literally
Half
to a
the
next state
country
over
has-
Have you ever
and get
thought about
legal
it, like,
weed.
Half the country, over.
If
half
there
the
was
country.
like some sort of shit and people just like, why the fuck do people want to work for the IRS? You know, why do you want to be that
Because
guy?
they pay you more than
I mean,
anybody in the
they
world
pay.
can pay you to be a op. what's crazy is
Whoa.
technically I'm a federal employee, and they was asking.
He's a
I
If
never.
I
Fed.
spit on him, it'd be assault in a federal.
He's a
But
fucking
that's the thing.
fan.
I
It
never
went-
did take heed or recognize that shit until my job actually asked me to do some police ass shit. Like,
Oh, shit.
Like, give them information about
Like, if you
somebody
smell
that
a
I.
package.
Oh, when you told me they was
Yeah,
What
but
about,
like,
if you smell a package that it smells like weed, you're supposed to turn that in, ain't you?
no, actually, that's crazy. They have like that's why I'm saying the weed laws have decriminalized. Like,
So if you smell it, just
if
put
we
it in the
smell,
mailbox.
even if we see
Yep.
weed, we can't take it to our supervisor because if it got to us, it was meant to. It's like it's supposed to be delivered. You know what I'm saying? Like 9 times out of 10, they're not worried
They
about.
already know type
They
shit.
know
Like,
it's
the
they know
feds
it's coming through, but this is the thing. They're not worried about it if it's not worth like catching you over. You know what I'm saying?
Like tens.
Mhm.
To,
Like,
to,
I remember-
multiple shits.
you can bring a package and like be like, this is weed, and they'll be like, that's like because you have to have so much probable cause to open somebody's shit to catch them.
It's like, how do we know that? If
You know what I'm saying?
if we open, then that's
Actually, I was talking
and
when
it's
I
not
got pulled
weed,
over.
Then
You pretty much have to have so much evidence, and like it's got to be bigger than just getting like a pound or two of weed in the mail. I assume.
so it's got to be bigger than just unnamed.
Like I
package.
assume, like they gotta like that. First off, they gotta prove it, and then they gotta
They
got to
have it in
investigation.
your name, or not just in your name, but they got to catch you with that package.
Red-handed.
Like they gotta
basically.
do. They gotta
And-
put.
because
They have to
anybody
line
can
so
send you
much up.
anything.
And if
Yeah.
you're
Like,
smart,
if you was
your
to
name's
start
not on the
doing it,
package.
if you're
For sure.
like, if you're doing it though, you're gonna get away with it for a long period of time because they essentially before they can start ripping up your mail and shit, they gotta build a case.
Yeah.
For
Before they
sure.
say, all right,
And
we're
then-
opening your mail because we know for a fact what you
But
got going on.
North Carolina's one of the states that you can do that in because it's not like we don't have a hub city.
Yeah, we do.
Charlotte.
Everybody has a hub city for their mail.
Raleigh, I guess.
Raleigh.
It's Greensboro for
Really?
It
shit.
depends on what
For
office.
what? I feel
the
like everything's Raleigh.
For the
That's
post
where all
office
the
is
main
Greensboro.
shit is.
And
Like,
fucking
all
with
the
some,
mail comes through.
Isn't-
We have a big mail office in Greensboro.
isn't
by the
fucking with somebody's
Coliseum.
mail too a federal crime?
Yeah,
like you go to prison
if
for
you
that
work at
shit.
burn
UPS,
shit.
If you work at UPS and you have a package that can fit in somebody's mailbox, instead of like just taking the easier route and putting it in their mailbox, you can get fired for touching a mailbox at all if you don't work for the post office.
Oh shit!
Like even the police can't touch
You'd
your
be sent to
mailbox.
prison.
The police, if they want
Federal
information from you,
fucking prison.
they have to ask us to give you somebody's information, and essentially it's on us
I
to
did
give
not
you
know
the
that.
information. So essentially, they don't send the police; they send the FBI. The only time they send the police, the
I
only
had a
time they
buddy
send the
that shit
police is
happened
if
to.
they send like the police will send letters in the mail for a particular person to ensure that they live at a certain address.
Y'all ever seen an American
I'm pretty
Gangster?
sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
Bro, that's one of my favorite movies. And bro, you ever seen that shit?
It's been a minute.
Bro,
That shit is fire.
well, that's so crazy how that shit happened because we was talking about like how all that shit is illegal and the cops be getting away with a bunch of shit and like that. And bro, he was paying the cops off, and they kept on wanting
shit
more and
happens
more and
That's
more.
what El
That
Chapo was
shit
doing.
happens everywhere.
And then he got locked up, and then he turned around and snitched on all the cops. That was fucking crazy, and it's based on a true story too. That's what's so wild about that movie, bro.
Also, if you like donate to the police department and shit, like you're less likely to get fucked with. Like, you ever seen those people with like the sheriff sticker on their tag?
Yeah,
That's people that donate to the sheriff's department.
and they're like
regularly though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get like when the cops get behind them, they're less likely to pull them. Like I got a on my Tahoe, I got a damn
sheriff's office.
no.
A blue line sticker.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I haven't
smarter
seen
than
it, but I've seen people that put blue line stickers on it to kind of be like, they form an alliance.
And then
Yeah, like I'm cool. Like I support the police.
and they're in their
like,
car
You smarter
hotboxing the
than
fuck out of it.
I just like so they're less likely to fuck with me. They're like, oh, this person, this ain't no like.
Yeah,
I'm a good kid.
he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
I've gotten pulled
Let's
over 3
interrogate
times
Boozy for the rest of the
since,
podcast.
since being back.
interrogate him.
I ain't
Yeah.
been,
He's
and I've
a
been
new
back
guest.
since like October.
Yeah,
But one time he told me that the police pulled him over and called him by, like he said, they called him by his damn alias name.
They
It was
do
like,
it every time.
they was
I'm
like, what you doing around here? Why
Well,
you
Damn.
don't you film or something?
Yeah, I was doing like.
He's older, and he hangs around everybody that be under the radar, essentially.
yeah.
Photography and all that shit.
They know you.
They know everybody.
They
like
watching
this.
you right now.
They probably is for real.
Yeah,
They're watching this. They're subscribed to this podcast.
If you post his if you post his other name, then they probably gonna watch this podcast.
Yeah.
I'd be wondering
Yeah.
about shit like that. Like, are they watching? Like, you know.
Bro,
Yeah,
look,
they
that's
probably
what
are.
My little brother came to me and was like, "Bro, you're famous. You can look up your name on
He's on
Google."
YouTube.
And he was like, "You can look up your name on Google and all your podcasts show up." And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
"I didn't know that, but I guess cool."
So everybody can look that up.
Yeah,
yeah.
anybody can find me and what I look like and sound like and what I
they can do that. Like,
that's what we're here for. Like,
Yeah.
if we were to ever blow up, we ain't gonna be able to monitor who sees and watches and
Yeah.
what we got going.
It really
on.
don't even
We
make
just
a
kind
fuck.
of really gotta live
really
a private
don't.
lifestyle outside of being on camera. essentially.
Seriously.
I mean, realistically, y'all can make your own. Anybody can make their own opinions of who we are while we're on here.
Yeah.
But y'all don't know us.
Y'all don't
and,
know
like,
us.
Y'all
They
might
don't
have
know
known
shit.
us, but motherfucker, we grown now. Like, y'all got different shit
We
going
grown
on.
ass men.
We got different shit going on. I might change my life goals in the morning.
I feel like realistically, as long as you like trying to support your
That was-
family and shit.
Did you look me up on Google?
Wow.
Damn, that was a while.
My guy
That
famous
was my
for
freshman
real.
year of high school.
You also had one with the number 2.
Damn,
That was probably my. I changed the number. That was my sophomore year. I was on.
Damn. My bro famous for real.
But
He actually for real famous. What was you gonna say, Dylan?
I don't know.
That was my senior year when I won
I
state,
don't remember.
and they gave me all my shit.
Just talking about life outside the damn internet.
You just got to be authentic on or off the internet. That's what I feel like.
For
That's
real.
why I be saying
That's what my
like.
tattoo represents.
That's what I went to New Balance Nationals.
Damn, like just stop being like this person for people. Take the mask off. You know, just be.
What
the
Yeah.
I was saying on the last podcast, bro, he was
I
saying
feel
like
you.
if we ever do get big, he's worried about like people looking at the older podcasts or like picking apart shit that we said in the
might have
past.
to like
Why
take,
ain't-
might hurt
take them
us.
down.
Well, nah,
or, like,
why
But,
ain't
like,
really
that's why
worried
we
about
trying to
it.
kind of
Private.
desensitize it without saying names or talking about particular groups. But at the end of the day, I am what I am.
For real. That's
Yeah,
why.
but and the big scheme
But
of
I'm not.
things,
See, I never beat.
you gotta you can't be like that. Like that's one of the things with being entertainers. You can't have a like personal opinion. Like I can't say I'm a Democrat or Republican.
See that,
See-
and I've talked about this before, and I really at this point, like I really
say
I don't
for
give
cares.
a fuck.
And that's how
I
I'm
really
saying. I
don't.
don't give a fuck
Like,
about that shit.
But
it's
it's
either
gonna
you're
be harder to
accept me
blow
for
up
who
that
I-
way. Like if you're this person they want you to be,
Yeah,
like
And that's
technically
what we
selling
said.
your soul. Like
Once you
Uh-huh.
get
going
and
outside.
see, I ain't doing that shit.
Once you
I've
get
already
to a certain
established that shit
level
from
of
the
fame, you
beginning.
gotta automatically accept that there's gonna be something that somebody can pick apart and not like about you. And
For
that's why
real.
you kind of have
Everybody
to
should
every
have
single
their
day
own
have
opinion.
not have a give a fuck. Like I am what I am.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Hold on, I'll never be.
Niggas whipping up until we meet. Catch him lacking, put him on TV.
That's why I don't give a fuck about people's fucking opinions. bro.
For
If
real.
I should die,
And
I'm
I
boosting
say,
a murder
I
rate.
say if that shit,
They're gonna slide every day.
if
My
you
niggas
have
gonna sign
to
every
do
day.
that shit, like if you have to do what the fuck they want you to do, then really that is selling your soul. And I established it from the beginning. I ain't never gonna do that shit.
Wholehearted
I'm gonna-
production.
Wholehearted
like the Charleston
entertainment.
White shit. Like he was saying, if you're over 5 or 10 million, like you going like
just-
people
it's a
painting
front.
their nails for
Uh-huh.
to grow but you as a gangbanger, you killing people. Like what you paint? What are you painting your nails for? You know?
Yeah.
Like
You
Lil
ain't-
Yachty.
You ain't really killing people.
I paint my
I don't
nails.
think Lil Yachty claims
Nah.
to be a gangbanger.
Lil
but-
Yachty
No,
not
but that's
no
what I'm
gangbanger.
Did you see the
Like-
NBA young boy called him out on that song,
Yeah.
trying to start a beef?
Like
Why would you
him,
start a
Drake,
beef with him? Any
Like,
of them?
Drake said, "Damn,
Youngboy-
None of them are
he's-
gonna get.
Youngboy
if
called out
anything, they're gonna
every
pay to
single
get you
person
killed.
in the industry, though.
Yeah.
If anything,
It's
they're
all
gonna pay to get
entertainment.
you killed. You
It's
know
all
what I'm saying?
entertainment. It really, really is.
Yeah, I feel like half of them aren't really about half the
Like
shit
all
they're
that
talking
beef
about.
shit.
More
yeah.
like 85%.
But listen, though, you gotta think
Seriously.
about yourself.
There's
though,
some
like,
of them I feel like really be on it, like the ones like
King Von
Yeah.
was.
you ever hear
And
Rio
that's why he not here right now.
Rio
Yeah.
the Young OG?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy.
he's
I
locked
fuck
up
with
because
Rio.
he's living where he rap.
Literally,
But this is what I'm saying, bro. It comes down to this. Like, you got to think about yourself, bro, regardless of the situation we was in. If we was put in this situation, like, because I fit in a lot of categories that you was explaining that I wouldn't be a hard nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't stand on business because I do paint my nails. You know what I'm saying? I just got this fucking eyebrow piercing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say a lot of shit that I do is a little
But
controversial.
that ain't, like, all about being...
Who cares,
like,
bitch?
But
Like
at the
I
end
was
of the
just
day,
saying,
if you
being
put me
gangster.
in a situation where it's me versus you, I'll be damned if I don't come out alive.
Like, who cares if you're gay? You know what I'm
and that
saying?
ain't what taking care of your
sure.
family.
Yeah, exactly. Gay or not, I'ma still take care of my family.
Take care of your family. Put food on the
Fuck you,
table.
Carson.
That's all that matters.
Hey, did you paint all these?
Hell yeah.
Everything in here is handmade by Barson.
Yeah.
Even his couch.
Yep.
Really?
Yep, he got it from his business. He works at a furniture company, and
Yeah.
he made it and they
I've been
sold
looking
it
at
to
these
him.
Like, damn.
For real. That's actually really good.
We'll get into the painting talk when we get off here because we done had that talk so many times on the podcast.
For sure, we really have.
They're probably like, this nigga Carson is preposterous.
Yeah. This guy's a fucking sellout.
That one's new though, right?
Which one? The big ass fucking fish?
This shit off
It was
of
like
that
the
This
past 3 weeks.
emo.
What?
So
The fish. He's had it in a couple podcasts,
Yeah.
actually. A few.
Yeah, for the past 3 weeks probably. 2.5
I ain't
maybe.
been on here in a minute.
For real, you really hadn't.
I've ran
How
out
long
of
you
shit
been
to talk
painting?
about. That's the only reason I ain't been on here.
About a year and a half. You
We
said
ain't
what?
even talked about the future on here, bro. Actually, I want to have you. Me and Carson have been talking about doing segments in the future, like
Oh,
once we have this
yeah.
shit together. And you know how we was talking about doing the food shit.
Food shit.
How
And
you
I
was-
talk about a lot of shit.
We talked on the phone about you like doing food reviews and shit. Remember? And trying to like do your own podcast,
Nah, I
trying
really-
different shit.
I really ain't know that y'all was this close to the crib. Out of
Oh, like going around to
Yeah,
different
hell yeah.
countries.
We need to
and,
run it up
like,
more, bro.
Trying different food and shit.
That's
and
like
reviewing it.
5 minutes from my house. So.
Hell yeah.
Only thing is, it just like getting
so
your
hard
fan
to do.
base up and
You
just
start with zero, yeah.
getting people to fuck with it. You know.
So
like,
what I'm gonna
That's
do?
exactly how I was during.
You
my
know how
little-
Carson has this?
when I first started my damn camera shit. It was like people would like.
They would fuck with you for a
and
little
then-
bit.
and then whenever I raised the price when I got a better camera, they was like,
That's how it is. That's how it is. Like with paintings around here, is that I ain't gonna be able to sell none of this shit around here because ain't nobody want to be paying for shit.
But where he's what he's trying to do is reach a broader audience. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's gonna
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
because I mean his
you're
shit.
gonna have to spend money on advertisement.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
what we're gonna do is,
And I want to build up. I want to build it up beforehand
So,
and then advertise.
Yeah.
we've been thinking and talking and plotting. We're gonna try to get like a little segment, and you know how we want to branch off and do our own little thing. But what we're gonna try to do is, you know how you and what's your name again? Fuck, I'm fucked up. I don't. Anyway, you know how y'all be cooking and shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna do cooking with like Lyndon, and we're gonna be in the fucking kitchen.
All right,
like
Snoop
you know how
Dogg.
y'all be making primal eats. We're
Yeah.
gonna make a full meal or a full ingredients and do the podcast in a setting of like a cooking show almost in a sense, but it creates camaraderie different than us
something I
just
think-
sitting here chopping it up.
Cooking with THC.
Shit. Yeah.
Because there's
Honestly,
not
that's
too many people
the
that
first
are,
episode. I
are
want
on
to do
that.
something like that, like
Really.
just
Yeah.
let's cook everything with
That's
butter.
something new coming to.
But like
that's some.
On
That's
the
some
media, you
That's some
can't
Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. type
Shit.
on the media
Yeah.
though, you can't put it out there wholeheartedly like that. Like, hey, we're cooking weed edibles. Just like
Yeah,
we're
not in North
making,
Carolina.
we're
Yeah.
making, it, we're
Yeah,
making,
for real.
making CBD.
we're
edibles.
making treats, like a treat episode where everybody knows what we're talking about, but we're indirectly making edibles. Yeah,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta say it's him.
exactly.
For sure.
Just like those are different segments and shit that draw
That's what I was
attention
talking
instead
about.
of just us hopping on this bitch and just like chopping it up. Or there was something that like Carson, he paints instead of him just standing in front of the camera and painting by himself. It might be harder for him to do, but
You
like
got like 3 different things.
giving
you're
a
doing.
class
Yeah, I be
to
doing
somebody
a bunch
else
of different
and just
things.
like
Talking to the
showing them
camera.
how
Like
to
a-
paint
like
while
a
he's
teaching
chopping
class.
it up with them.
For
you know what
real.
I'm saying? Like them giving their story.
Honestly,
or
I'm
him
just trying to
telling-
build up a whole bunch of content. And like I was saying too with him is that if y'all wanted to do that shit, y'all can do the first few episodes on my channel and then essentially build up an audience there.
Yeah.
And then branch off because
That'd
then
be
we
good.
both benefit because then I can be bringing in an audience from y'all and then y'all can be bringing in an audience
Helping
from
out
me.
each other.
And
We
then
eat
y'all can
together.
branch out on your own shit and then because then people already know what the hell you're
the
doing.
reason I like this is because essentially, like, we're not wholeheartedly eating off of him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not making a fuck ton of money that we're trying to get. He's not
Nobody's
making
making
anything.
shit.
I'm not
right
making
now.
any money.
We're all
I'm in
trying
the
to make
hole,
something
thousands.
shake. So if we help him make something
I
shake,
mean, you gotta stick with it.
yeah,
If you stick
like,
with
he's
it,
gonna
it'll-
stick with it. But if we help him make something shake by him helping us make something shake, by the end of the day,
then we all eating.
we all gonna eat
Yeah,
in a
for
in
sure.
a good way. You know
need
what I'm
to get
saying?
somebody on here that's like rising.
Yeah.
Like be
Or
the
somebody
first
that has
person
a
to get
name, or like somebody
For
that
real.
you can't really reach from here,
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
And
like KJ.
Yeah, you gotta find
like
certain
KJ,
people
right.
that like where you both benefit off of it, because then if not, then somebody's gonna have to get paid. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then
Like,
we
you're
ain't
not
got the
gonna-
budget for that.
Yeah, like when you get into
Sponsors
these big
very
name
moment.
You
people,
try to
like
get
people
some
aren't gonna get on the
sponsorships.
camera with
Yeah.
you unless because they know that they're gonna make money. From
Oh yeah,
them. They're
niggas
not gonna
are
get on the
are
camera
wanna
without
get
a
paid
dollar.
to come on the podcast.
Exactly.
For sure.
For real, for real.
Especially if it's like somebody like
Pay 'em
like
besides
up and
me.
coming, like y'all was talking about.
No.
Remember that one I hopped on? I was like, "How much am I getting paid for this?"
Lyndon's got you. It's going on
I was-
Lyndon's tab.
I was like, "My time's money. I need to get paid for this."
Yeah.
But nah. Actually, I was going to talk about this earlier when we was talking about cops and shit. I got pulled over in Tennessee.
Oh shit.
When I was up there on
Here recently?
Yeah, come snatch it.
So snatch this chain if you think it's that easy.
Damn.
Yeah, my buddy was speeding. We got pulled over, and I had some twisted teeth in the back and shit. Like I killed him, like while the cop was back there, like doing all the shit. Like while he was waiting on another cop to pull up, because they was about to search the car. We was,
Oh
Right.
fuck.
and I was talking to him. I was like, "How y'all know like if it's CBD or weed?"
Uh-huh.
And they really
It's a guess.
if you have a packaging of CBD, they can't do nothing about it.
That's wild.
Yeah,
So
they have to
they
leave
did
you be
So-
because at
Because
the end
I-
of the day, if they go through the whole process of testing it, they spend so much money proving your innocence that it's not
I
worth
ain't-
it.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what I
ain't
got
gonna
out
say
of
no
it.
fucking names, but me and my old roommate was like on the way to Vegas, and he had some past charges of like weed and shit and all this, and like drug dealing charges and all this shit. And they pull us over, and then they like get his tag and see his like old charges.
Oh shit.
So they fucking like go through our whole car, tear shit up, look for it, and we're telling them, bro, you're not gonna find anything, bro. Like, we're not that dumb to travel across the country.
Ain't
with
nobody
fucking-
no idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they like pulled me out the car with no shoes on, and like had like the dog like go around the car and all this shit.
And supposedly they found some shit, right? Didn't they?
Damn.
Supposedly the dog found alerted to some shit in the car.
Supposedly the dog alerted to some shit,
But if you had
but I
smoked
seen-
in there,
no,
then
no, I seen
you
what
did?
I seen what happened. The dog
They
ran.
tapped the damn shit, and the dog.
The dog went around the car. He like, and I seen the officer like hit the car, and then the dog starts going.
You know
crazy.
how they make them do shit.
Yeah,
And I was
at the
like,
same,
bro,
it's a
come on.
fucking dog.
Speak, boy.
There's
You know,
nothing
like-
there.
Yeah.
The dog alerted on
It's
that
just
shit,
a
and
fucking
they
dog,
they
bro.
flipped the whole car inside out and didn't find nothing.
I think we was in Missouri or some shit. Yeah,
But they ain't find shit,
Damn.
bro.
they ain't find a damn.
It's just
And if
'cause
they
you
wanted,
was-
if y'all wanted to
Damn.
escalate the situation, you really could have took it there because that is a situation where you're kind of pretty much getting profiled. You know what I mean? Especially if the dog. How does a
That-
dog hit
you-
on a car that don't got shit on it?
You was from out of town. They
Yeah.
was just trying to
Fuck with you.
That's I've noticed anytime I go out of town, like
They almost knew that there was a reason they were pulling
As
it.
soon as they seen his old charges, they was like, "Oh, he probably got some."
They was like, "That's him.
They
Let's
like
get
to
him."
get the out of towners because it isn't like that's bringing money into
Yep.
the community.
They can get. That's why that you're more prone to get arrested when you visit Myrtle Beach
Yeah, because they're bringing money there. Like they don't want to arrest the people or like get
that are locals.
yeah. They
'Cause
want
they
to
know.
get the out of towners.
They want to know the people
Yeah.
that feel like it's a risk, so they're going to comply to every rule and every bit of money that they got to pay to get out of a situation that they're in out of town.
Yeah.
It's an out of town fee.
Which is
You know, like
comes with
something
the
like-
extra $800 to $1,000.
I don't know. When I got the dude's when he got that speeding ticket in Tennessee, his ticket was only $99.
Did you get possession or
For,
something?
no,
Oh.
just speeding. $99. Ain't it like 180 here?
I don't know. I have no
Like
idea.
260?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a speeding ticket a couple weeks ago. That shit's
It's
like
260,
Yeah,
almost
up there,
What the
300.
$99.
I gotta pay it before the 2nd of January.
Whoa, do you not get a lawyer?
Go to iTicket.
You can
Try to
get a
get a
lawyer,
job.
but the lawyer is going to cost you just as much as paying
Hey.
the ticket off because you're guilty.
I
You're going to be
mean-
guilty unless you get in proper
But-
equipment.
Nah,
You
bro.
still got to
iTicket-
pay court fees.
Hey, if you get iTicket, go to iTicket.law, put all your shit in there, and it's like it's just online shit. You ain't even got to appear to. It's
Give you a
$99.
verdict.
And it's
Ha-
literally my first.
Have you heard of it?
I ticket? No, I haven't.
It's
Oh yeah, you can go represent yourself on your first
Well, no,
ticket
they'll-
and get it thrown out
well, they'll do it all for you. 99. You'll still have to pay the court costs, but they'll get it dropped down in
to
proper
a proper every time you get your first offense on some shit like that, it's 9
It's
times out
cheaper
of 10
than
gonna be in
harvesting.
proper
That's it, 'cause
equipment.
For real.
My court date's on the 2nd of January.
Because I got
Oh,
my
shit.
ex got she got a speeding
you paid it.
ticket, and I know they caught us with weed. 'Cause I was asleep in the car. I didn't know she was even getting pulled.
And you told them it's back seat in the bag.
Yes, and no, I know. I told him my weed was right here because that's where my weed was, and I had a homeboy that we had just dropped off that left his weed in
And
my
then
bag.
then it wasn't even there.
They didn't find my weed. They found my homeboy's weed and was like, "We thought you had less than what you thought." And I thought, me being the rightful person, me telling them where my weed was, I was like, "Officer,
They like told him the whole truth.
as much as
I
you
know who
don't
sold
wanna
it to
believe
me and
I would-
everything.
No, I was
Truth,
just like,
nothing
as
but
much
the
as you
truth.
don't want to believe me, the weed that I told you to find, you didn't find it. That is not my weed. This motherfucker goes back and finds the weed that I told him to look for and charged me for both of them. So I just look like a dumbass, like I told him.
That is
and
not
yeah,
my
all my
weed.
homeboys are like, "Why would you even tell him you had more, dumbass?" I just thought that he was gonna give me his good Samaritan rule and understand that I was telling him
Goddamn.
the truth. Like, you didn't find the weed that I'm admitting to.
That is not my weed.
Yep, $1,200 later though. Yeah, because it was right
Damn.
under the felony amount of weed.
Sir,
because
that is not
both of them
my
together.
weed.
Like I had like a half, and this guy had a whole ounce of weed on him. So
Speaking of an instance like that, me and somebody else went behind. You know where Scotty's is?
I had to get the mic a little closer.
Like,
Yeah.
Like you know where Scotty's is, right?
Yeah.
That little loop behind Scotty's where the car wash and shit is.
Hey, that's the perfect
cul-de-sac
spot.
and shit.
We go back there and smoke for 30 minutes, waiting on my boy to get off. his
know
bed.
Yeah, that's the
They
they
wasn't
got
back
cameras
there.
and shit
We
back
was
there.
chilling.
Motion sensors.
But this was 4 or 5 years ago. I ain't know all that shit.
You
And
live and
they
you
come
learn.
pull in, and we're like, "Oh shit!"
They got your ass.
So we're sitting in the car. They're like, "Get out the car." I'm like, "All right, cool."
And you're like, that is not my weed.
So he's like, "Whose weed is this?" And I wasn't driving at
Ain't
the fucking
mine.
time. So I was like, "Shit, it's really not mine, bro." So I don't know what you want me to do.
Damn.
Then I threw
Got to a situation where it was everybody's.
Nah, I threw the weed. I threw it under the seat,
You just threw it at the cop. It's yours now.
with the bowl and everything. And he never found the bowl, which
Is
had
Seth in
a
there?
fresh pack.
Oh
It was
shit.
freshly packed. He never found it.
Yeah.
So they just took the weed that they found, and I was like, as soon as they left, we just sparked the other bowl. As soon
God
as they left.
damn.
Hoodlums.
That is not my
They
weed.
just took the weed and left. It was like, all right, so I guess we can smoke the rest of this.
Fuck it. Y'all ready to wrap this shit up?
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
That's the name of this episode is That Is Not My Weed.
That is not my weed.
That is not my weed.
That is not my shit.
Whose
y'all.
weed
Not my
is
shit,
it?
officer?
Not mine.
Where's Waldo?
I don't know. Shit.
Nah, you want to hit it?
Yeah.